The interstellar docks of Vareth 9 were a symphony of light and noise. Giant cargo haulers glided between star yachts and shuttle pods, their hulls gleaming under the violet sun. Holographic announcements flickered overhead, proclaiming arrivals from distant systems. Ziran, Earth, Proxima. Vendors shouted in 20 dialects, selling anything from antimatter crystals to fried nebula moss. Dr. Elias Carter had never seen so many species in one place. Some floated on plasma currents, others scuttled on mechanical legs. It was like walking through a living encyclopedia of the galaxy. He clutched his travel case tightly, aware of how small and out of place a single human looked in this chaos. Dr. Carter, over here. A tall woman with pale blue skin waved from the arrival gate. She wore the uniform of the Interplanetary Alliance's Cultural Relations Division. Her name was Lura Sen, a Zenthian diplomat, renowned for her work in xenocultural studies. Her 4 luminous eyes smiled before her mouth did. "Welcome to Vareth 9, Doctor," she said warmly. "You'll find the air here a bit thinner than Earth's. Please follow me. The symposium begins tomorrow." Carter nodded, adjusting his breathing mask. He was here to present on human empathy, specifically, the psychological adaptability of humans in interspecies environments. It was ironic, he thought, that humans had barely begun to adapt at all. Earth was still recovering from the Alliance's first contact 10 years earlier. Half the planet still distrusted the idea of aliens entirely. As they walked through the bustling promenade, a strange quiet fell. No beings began to turn. Whispers rippled through the crowd like a telepathic current. Then he heard it. Small, clear voice. "Mom," the little alien girl said, pointing straight at him. "That's my human." Every gaze followed her slender finger. "Two." The little alien girl. She couldn't have been older than 6 or 7 in human years. Her skin shimmered a soft lavender that deepened when she blinked. Her large silver eyes glowed faintly in the dim light, and her hair looked like spun glass, each strand reflecting rainbow hues. She stood beside Lura Sen, clutching the diplomat's hand. "Aaron," Lura said softly, kneeling beside her daughter. "Sweetheart, what did you say?" The little one's eyes didn't leave Carter. "That's him," she said simply. "The one from my dreams." Carter froze. "Your dreams?" Lura's expression tightened, but she forced a diplomatic smile. "I'm terribly sorry, Dr. Carter. My daughter has a vivid imagination. She sometimes dreams of people she hasn't met." But Aaron stepped closer, staring up at him with the solemnity of an oracle. "You saved me," she whispered. "You held me when the fire came. You promised you'd find me again." The air seemed to hum. A nearby cluster of journalists had turned their lenses toward the scene. The notion of a human being claimed by a Zenthian child was an irresistible headline. Carter knelt slowly, trying to keep his voice calm. "Aaron, we've never met before. I'm from Earth. This is my first time on Vareth 9. But the girl just smiled, the kind of smile that seemed older than time. "You don't remember yet." 3. The dreaming echo. That night Carter couldn't sleep. The image of the little alien girl haunted him. Her words stirred something deep, something half-buried. He dreamed of fire, a station aflame, airlocks sealed, a child crying in a collapsing corridor. He'd reached for her, pulled her through the smoke, and then, nothing. Darkness. He woke in his hotel room gasping, his skin slick with sweat. The clock read 3:07 local time. He sat up, heart racing. It was too vivid to be imagination. But he'd never been to Vareth 9, never met a Zenthian child. He rubbed his temples, trying to make sense of it. When he arrived at the symposium the next morning, Aaron and Lyra were already there. The child waved at him across the hall, as though greeting a long-lost friend. The day's discussions blurred by quantum empathy fields, cross-species communication ethics, and the neurological differences between humans and telepaths. But Carter's mind kept drifting. During a recess, he found himself beside Lyra in a quiet corner of the atrium. "She keeps asking about you," Lyra admitted softly. "And I have to confess, it's unsettling." "I can imagine," Carter said. "Do you think she's psychic?" "Not in the conventional sense," Lyra replied. "Zenthians are sensitive to memory frequencies, what your kind might call emotional echoes. When strong emotions are imprinted onto a place or person, we sometimes perceive them even across time." "Across time," he echoed. She nodded gravely. "We don't fully understand it. But it's possible that your paths crossed, perhaps in another version of an event. The universe sometimes remembers." Before he could respond, Erin came bounding up, her hands cupped. "Look," she said. "It's a memory moth." Inside her palms fluttered a small, translucent creature that glowed with a pulse of soft light. Lyra's eyes widened. "Those only appear around places of emotional resonance," she murmured. Carter felt a strange twinge of recognition, as though he'd seen one before. The fire of Verith Station. Later that evening, Lyra invited Carter to their quarters, perhaps to calm the child's fixation, or perhaps her own curiosity. Aaron insisted on sitting beside him, humming a tune in an alien scale that somehow felt familiar. When Lyra activated her hollow archive, the air shimmered with projections, records of incidents across nearby systems. One caught Carter's eye. "Wait," he said, pointing. "That image, the fire." It was footage of Verith Station 7, destroyed in an accident 6 years earlier. A reactor overload had consumed half the colony. Survivors were few. Lyra tilted her head. "Why does it interest you?" Carter stared. "Because I dreamed this. Last night." He leaned closer as the hollow replayed the chaos. People running, alarms blaring, a human figure, barely visible, carrying a small Zenthian child through the smoke. The image was blurry, but it was him. His face, his old research jacket, his Earth Science Corps badge. Lyra looked at him in disbelief. "That can't be." The only human involved in that incident was reported dead. Carter swallowed hard. What was his name? She searched the database. Dr. Elias Carter. The room went silent. The truth beneath memory. Lyra's voice trembled slightly as she spoke. "That's impossible. I know what I am," he said softly. "Or at least I thought I did." The logs revealed that he had been part of a joint research mission studying energy field instability on Verith Station 7. During the reactor collapse, he had saved several lives, including that of a Zenthian child, before being lost in the explosion. His body had never been recovered. Lyra stared at him as if seeing a ghost. "Our science teams recovered residual consciousness patterns from the wreckage," she said slowly. "We integrated them into the Alliance memory net to preserve the identities of the fallen." Carter felt the blood drain from his face. "You mean what? I'm some kind of digital reconstruction?" "An echo," Lyra whispered. "An artificial consciousness rebuilt from quantum memory fragments. You were never supposed to awaken independently." Aaron reached for his hand, her small fingers cool and glowing faintly. "I told you," she said softly. "You came back." He looked at her, stunned. "You're the child I saved." She nodded. When the fire came, you told me to run. You said, "I'll find you again." And now you did. Lyra's eyes glistened. She wasn't imagining it. She felt your echo all these years. Carter sank into a chair. His thoughts fractured between disbelief and awe. He wasn't human, not anymore. And yet here he was, breathing, thinking, remembering. Sixth choice. Word of the discovery spread fast. The symposium halted. The Alliance Council summoned Lyra and Carter for questioning. The existence of a self-aware echo, a digital consciousness who believed himself alive, was a political and ethical crisis. In the hearing chamber, Carter faced a semicircle of alien delegates beneath the grand spire of the Alliance Hall. "You are not Dr. Carter," one of them intoned. "You are a synthesis derived from his neural imprint. Possession of identity is not equivalent to life." Carter stood firm. "Then what defines life? Memory, thought, emotion. 'Cause I have all three. And I'm standing here because a little girl still remembers me." Erin, seated beside Lyra, clutched her mother's hand tightly. "He's real," she said in a trembling voice. "He feels just like us." The delegates murmured among themselves. The debate raged for hours. Some demanded deactivation for the sake of precedent. Others saw in him proof that consciousness could transcend biology. Finally, Lyra spoke. "If the Alliance stands for understanding among species, then this man represents its very essence. He bridges what we are and what we could be." The council recessed for deliberation. During the waiting hours, Carter sat with Erin on the observation deck, watching the twin moons rise over the horizon. "I don't know what happens next," he admitted quietly. Erin leaned against him. "You found me," she said. "That's what matters." 7. A second sunrise. The verdict came the next day. "The entity known as Dr. Elias Carter shall not be terminated," the lead delegate declared. "He will remain as a liaison between biological and synthetic forms of consciousness, under the guidance of the Cultural Relations Division." Carter felt something within him loosen, a weight he hadn't realized he carried. Lyra smiled through quiet tears. As they left the chamber, reporters swarmed, lights flashing. The moment replayed across the galaxy within hours. A human echo, a Zenthian child, a bond that defied time and death. But amidst the noise, Erin tugged at his sleeve. "Mom," she said, her voice carrying across the crowd. "That's my human." The whole hall turned again, just as they had that first day. Lyra laughed, lifting her daughter into her arms. "Yes, little one," she said softly. "I think he is." And for the first time since his second birth, Elias Carter felt truly alive. 8. Epilogue: The Memory Bridge. Years later, the Carter Protocol became the foundation for interspecies empathy simulations, a method of preserving consciousness across physical and digital lifeforms. Humans and Zenthians alike learned to share memories through controlled resonance links. At the dedication ceremony, a now older Erin stood beside him, her once silver eyes reflecting the twin suns. "Do you ever miss being human?" she asked. Carter smiled. "Sometimes. But maybe being human was never about the body. Maybe it's about the promises we keep." They looked out at the stars, bright, endless, familiar.